ties some stops together. Automatic switching on the perimeter. Get the big guy to the box.
Newman. Nifty footwork. Frees the shot, including a couple of triples.
Nice backdoor.
Vic is. Foreman has 4. Graham, deep 3. Got it.
Skywalker doesn't have a quick jump like we've seen out of other players like Sonogo, the pogo stick, but he carves out space. He's so massive.
What a lot. Hollering at the players about what they did wrong. The light went on, that smile. He gets a nice lob. Well, all the precincts aren't in yet, are they?
That's on TBS. Michigan already set. The lob underneath. Basket to go right before the half, and then comes out, hits the floater to open second stanza.
And this is the key here. Can you stop them? Can you handle the ball screen? They've worked hard on it, but haven't done a good job.
Vic, who had a good first half.
Graham running that baseline all the way around the screen and then in the paint and got it. Foul. Both have 2 fouls. So is Aaron Gordon, the guy that took his spot. It's defending Devontae Graham right now. So he's got to be careful. Newman likes to drive like that.
What a difference he makes on that floor. Back screen lob. Here it is.
But otherwise, you want that ball moving through the air if you're Penn to establish a rhythm offensively.
Another thing for Kansas, they had 4 turnovers in the first 8 minutes.
12 tournament was named the most outstanding player of the Big 12 tournament.
Look at this. A nice job, I think, getting available the last trip down here. Here's the lob. Designed offensively by Kansas.
Delorier out there on the perimeter, a smaller guy who has speed. Watch Newman on the baseline.
Lob. There it is.
See the help. Find the open man. Carrington's starting to feel it.
McCulloch will try to feel it and does. There wasn't much chance of deflecting that shot. Graham lobs it, left foot, too short, but they got it back.
9 to shoot. Hannibal attacking Shannon. Duffy, Morris, and Zach Brown all have 2 fouls for Wichita State. To the right.
You want to switch everything?
Watching the inbounder now. Penn is slipping.
This kid plays with so much confidence.
Will they take the lead again? Drive it in, soaring in. Carolina, and it was tight till about this point. Lipscomb, in fact, led for a good part of that first half, but it was at this point where Carolina got on a spurt right before the intermission. Meanwhile, the Retrievers had 6 assists on their 7 baskets. And again, 5 of them were threes.
It all starts right here for Virginia. Once again, Michigan's really familiar with this offense because they run a lot of the similar things, so they practiced against it. Nice slip again.
That Miami's going to start to realize there's no rim protector out there for Loyola. As good a center on the offensive end as Crutchwick is, he's not going to block many shots.
Custer tries for Jada. Start wondering where the offense is going to come for Kansas State. There's a reason why they've not been able to win a game when they've been down by double digits. Richardson fire!
And really, speed is their problem. They're rushing things, and that's because there's great defense by Loyola.
Conversely, Loyola, they're executing, running their stuff, getting great looks and opportunities.
Maybe you've been sold to build a good somewhere else as you fall in a spot like this with a coach that believes in you guys. They have trailed in each of their first 3 NCAA tournament games. Here's Williamson for the.
See what they've done in the paint. Down 5 here after the Azundu free throws.
Moser just stole some minutes with Andre Jackson playing the center spot to Cameron. Got a chance to set the
Loyola Chicago lead.
And normally Wagner is subbed in and out, but he's played so far the whole second half. John Beilein normally rests him, but he needs him out there for his team.
And they wear you out on Sunday.
March Madness Live. Watch now, NCAA.com/March Madness, or download the app today. Ramblers at this end of the floor, 4 of 5 shooting. At least they started, but just game is 4. He's got 3 already in 4.5 minutes. Just incredible.
Look at the hard hedge out there, forcing Custer really wide.
Isn't perfect, but my goodness, she is America's newest sweetheart indeed. And she is cheering on her Ramblers with the entire city of Chicago sitting on the edge of their seats.
16 game, they scored 22 points. Here's Custer.
Hesitation.
Under 8 minutes to play, 60%. One of the reasons why he was the top freshman in the Missouri Valley Conference this season.
Nice.
Jackson overplayed.
Fouled out in the game, but 5 big threes for Snead. Good pass, Krutwig.
Because Krutwig was running down with the ball, you get a tip in. They have to speed up the pace.
Loyola Chicago has led most of this game as Krutwig on the catch.
Went inside and came back out.
Bone a 38% three-point shooter on the season. Jackson. Here's Clayton Custer. Now up front to Ingram. Ingram six
that shot and knock it down.
Krutwig. Now Custer. In the corner, Richardson. Yeah.
The offensive player not letting him get over the screen. The big is helping down. You got to be able to attack that big and make a play. Look at that pass.
Put it on the floor, got a little closer on the ball fake. Probably would have gotten a foul and possibly an and one.
See the shooting.
Nice slip. Ramblers 6. And we talk about the offense because we've seen some outstanding plays on offense.
Jackson.
Obviously some jeopardy.
Here's Williamson holding. We come up on the final 60 seconds. Custer from deep. And quickly he has turned this Tennessee program around in 3 short years.
Extra pass.
It bleeds over there to Harlan, Sportscaster of the Year.
Nice drive inside.
Think about this. Your freshman phenom, Colin Sexton, has 4 of the 8 turnovers.
Good pass.
Length and that quickness down low.
Hall is a very strong, very effective inside presence. Bibbs. Out to Justin Robinson. 3-point shot has been able to do very little of that against Robinson. But now Robinson on the bench with 3 fouls. Sexton with 9. He averages 19. Basket. He's a 34% three-point shooter. 21-11 record for Virginia Tech. 8 in 7 in the ACC. Overall, 75% from beyond the arc, and yet they trail in the game. Clark to Robinson. That's a 3-point shot. And Hall was out on the perimeter. As soon as that ball went in the basket, Hall took off. That's a really aggressive play. Hokies have lost 2 straight. They've lost 3 of 4. The 10-8 ACC record. Inside Blackshear. A lot of crimson around him, but he put in 34 games played. Avery Johnson. With the drive right here, Justin Robinson outside in the corner.
It's more important than having speed on a track.
Here he is on the offensive end with Houston a chance to tie or lead if that goes. Then he does.
And that's that NBA flavor he's brought back to college.
Inbounds pass is a good one. And
Back to the foul line at some point, make a couple, see it go through the net some, and then you feel better about yourself.
big shoulder.
And he has that rest, and he has that energy.
Graves is in. Clark.
We want to show the world that we are a pretty good team, and I think we've been underestimated a bit. We want to show everyone that we can fight through adversity and be successful, but they are up against it. Aiden and his team here to start.
The second half normally comes off the bench, but he normally starts the second half of games, and he has not scored. So Buffalo
stop right now. 4 ball handlers, actually 5 ball handlers out there for Buffalo, all interchangeable. Now you just can't put it on the guards.
Harris goes 260. He's actually added about 17 pounds of muscle from the summer. Harris got a lot of that. Buffalo has been on the aggressive from the beginning.
Anytime you have people that rank you that don't know you and your cards. Clark, Massenberg, Jordan.
Nick Perkins working on the wrist stitch. Gets a foul.
Keep your hands up and out of the way. Move your feet.
Blue collar mentality. Their head coach, Nate Oates, now in his 3rd year, took over from Bobby Hurley. Bullet pass across. C.J. Massenberg hits a
stifling. You have to try to make one. You have to try to get 2 people to guard you. Look for it open man.
No, Wes Miller. Oh, here's another one.
Possessions for his teammates. He's doing a better job of setting screens, getting his guys open lanes to the basket.
Kyron Galloway's in the game for the Spartans. Shots. So the Dickey, lone player in double digits for either team. 10 for UNCG, 11 by the rest of the team. And Gonzaga's had them locked down the last few minutes here from behind the arc. They have now missed their last 10. Neither one of these teams having any success at all from behind the arc. Massey.
Hanging on the 0. No one has the advantage. Both teams a little nervous to start.
Turnover for Ohio State. Gives the ball back to Gonzaga. Coming out of the West Coast Conference, another 30-win season for the Zags. They're now 31-4. Kick it to the corner. Williams. There's Norvell. Jay Jackson for a 3. And just like that, single-digit deficit for the Buckeyes. Remember, it was Jackson, Cam Williams, Keita Bates-Diop, all scoring 20 or more as well.
Especially are vulnerable from the top of the key in the middle of the paint when you play the zone.
Davidson scored it well in the A-10 this year, 2nd in the conference in points per game, over 76 on average. Nicholson from the line. A matchup of Wildcats here today. Matter of fact, we'll have 3 of the 4 of the teams represented in our evening session, with Arizona and Buffalo set to battle next. On the take. Big Blue by 5. Aldridge, reverse.
Figure. John Calipari didn't have anything to do with the organization or execution of it, but he had plenty to say about it, that the losing streak helps evaluate the players when they're not at their best. Calipari felt like this team...
Well, missing 17 of their final 20 shots. That's going to be the way they get back in, right, Chris?
Yeah, and when you think about it, I mean, 3 players account for 59 points. Mickelson, Aldridge, Gunnarsson.
In regulation here, trip to Los Angeles in the Sweet 16 on the line. Keita Bates-Diop on the take, goes through the...
Wait another 9 years. So beautiful here, waking up and seeing the snow on the mountains and all these crazy fans. And again, first time I've ever seen tailgating. Oh, man, the NCAA, you gotta love it.
That was right between the football stadium and the arena here on the campus of Boise State.
Floor and shoot. Ohio State changed it up, went to a zone, and then they actually switched the pick and roll. They're going to have to stop that in order to get back in this game.
Here's Williams.
And he hit. Wow. Those are some big slippers. Some of those guys wear size 20 shoes. I hope we got those ready. They're ready to go. And Williams comes in now to be the adjustment for Gonzaga because they could not get anything off the pick and roll the last couple of plays.
9 points in the Summit League Championship game in Sioux Falls against South Dakota. He was huge, getting South Dakota State into the NCAA tournament.
He just pressured the ball 94 feet up so aggressively. Energy on both ends. The senior have the lead and a substantial lead. You can definitely use guys like Weston and those guys to control the paint and to keep going. What a great pass.
Caleb West, Ingram of Loyola Chicago, high school teammates at Simeon Career Academy in Chicago. Famous high school, producing players like Derrick Rose and Jabari. Big possession for the Buckeyes. Andre Wesson. Here's Williams, another three. Stop! 7-point game. Gonzaga in the lead. Here's Bates Diop.
That's 78%. They have a ton of guys that shoot 80%.
Gates cuts
To the first round of the 2018 NCAA Tournament, and right now the 16 seed Texas Southern has a 5-point lead on #1 Xavier. Nakira.
Got to get some stops, though, if you want to get to run.
Nakira to a cutting Joe. Scruggs, the impressive freshman, bringing the ball up the floor.
He's unbelievable. It's like I think I'm in the playground again in New York City.
Cantor. Winston, the sophomore out of Bloomfield, Connecticut.
Everybody on Xavier can pass the ball. Big, small.
Oh, what a move by Cantor. This is the first time Texas Southern has made back-to-back NCAA tournament appearances since 1994 and 1995. Blew it. 15 points from the Xavier seniors. They average 48 per game.
The putback. But now you have to string a few stops together and get some timely threes. You got to put a little bit more pressure on Michigan. Too easy.
We are fired up for you, my
love
friend.
you guys.
They're going to be right there. Here's a little pin down.
Wagner, head fake, gets past front wing.
Davis to get really good position inside and then throw in the ball.
But this is where they have to clamp down at the defensive end. I'm not worried about their offense. Can they stop them defensively?
There's a good defense, too.
So Simmons there at both ends, Brad. Saw him knock down a three, then defensively help the cause.
Kelvin Sampson sits Rob Gray down.
But he's 6'11". Better chance of making the basket or getting fouled and then seeing the ball go through the net. You get a couple free throws.
Robinson, he had one game where he had 62 points. They played the game of the century that put college basketball really on the TV map when they played UCLA earlier that year in January. They
Advantage there with their size, but it's not reflecting itself in the stats.
No, it sure isn't so far. There's an avenue for Simpson. Off the important his backcourt's been Rory and Aguina have 21 of their first half 28 points. There's Wagner getting the first touch and again.
Florida State's turned it over, but they haven't really turned it over to allow Michigan to get out in transition. Matthews with a lot of size around him.
Automatic switching, John Beilein says, gives them trouble. We saw that with Loyola. Nice slip by the big guy.